Hi there, Angie Wagler.
And Paul Wagler.
For Arise Now.
And a 2-minute wake-up call.
Well, we're really glad to be with you today, and we're glad to be with you tomorrow on our Facebook Live, Sunday, April 5th for Palm Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning on on our Arise Now Facebook page. We were thinking last week that we would have to do some pre-recording, but circumstances have changed this week. We're actually able to be on live, so we're glad for that.
Right, and if you missed the live broadcast, you can go onto our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, Arise Now, and you'll be able to watch that after the fact.
Right, or go on to our website, arisenow.ca, and you can. There's some links there for you to check that out too.
For those of you who have a hard time navigating your way through some of these technology things, we try to make it as simple as possible. But today we wanted to just share a real quick word of encouragement to you from Lamentations, the verse that's been coming to me. And Lamentations was written by Jeremiah, and he had a bit of a rough go, didn't he?
Oh, Jeremiah. He was one of the prophets in the Old Testament. And the prophets in the Old Testament, they had a hard call. They were given a word to share. They were corrective words. And nobody wanted to hear them. Yeah. Nobody wanted to hear them at all. And, I like in Jeremiah 1, the call when the Lord first revealed himself to Jeremiah, and he says to him, Jeremiah, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you, and I have appointed you. I've called you, and I've appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Now, Jeremiah was just a young man at that point, and he's like, I'm just a child. I'm just young. Like, how does this work? And the Lord said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of them at all. I'm going to give you a word, and the word needs to go forth, to produce the effects. And he said, you're going to be called to tear down, and you're going to be called to build. And that is the role of prophets. The word that comes from the Lord, he wants to do some tearing down because there's some things that have not been built properly. And then he wants to build properly in our lives. And Jeremiah, he lived at a time where he was prophesying the destruction of Jerusalem, the captivity of God's people. And it was a hard call to have. He had a compassionate heart. He's called the weeping prophet. He longed to see something change in the hearts of the people.
Yeah, so in Lamentations, a book that he wrote, he's talking about how rough things are, and he's kind of lamenting about a lot of things. And in the midst of it, in chapter 3, I believe it's verse 19 or 20, where he says this, yet this I call to mind, therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. And I'm like, wow, that is awesome. That every morning we wake up, the compassions, the mercies of the Lord are new. There's enough to go around. They don't run out. And so we can rejoice in that. And so in the midst of turbulent times, we can recall to mind, yet this, like he did, yet this I call to mind, therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. And then I love how he says, I will say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him. And so we just want to declare that and invite you to do that as well, that the Lord is our portion and we will wait for him. He is our source. He is the one we are depending on, and he will never fail us. And his mercies and compassions are new every morning. So let that be a word of encouragement today to you. And may you just rejoice in the mercies and the compassions of the Lord that are there for us each and every day.
Yeah, and we hope to see you tomorrow morning. And until we meet again,
stay awake
and stay alert.